Same questions for you. From what you saw this year, how do you how do you reshape the landscape of what's happening in Washington right now? Like, what do you think you guys need to make? How did you feel for one about the season that happened this year? What were your expectations before the season started, and how did it end? How did you feel about how it ended?
Man, so it's a good question. It's like, my recap is more so I wanted us to make the playoffs. Like going into being a Wizards fan, you're just like, what are we gonna do with this roster? Is KP gonna stay healthy the entire time? Is Bill gonna stay healthy the entire time? If all three of them get on the floor, then this could be something magical, no pun intended, because it's the Wizards. But you get about midway through the season. Honestly, I'm gonna tell you this. This is a little tidbit. I thought Bradley Beal was gonna sign the contract, and then by December or January, he was gonna ask for a trade. But I guess the way Porzingis and Kuzma was playing, it actually made everything kind of look like a healthy environment for him. One thing I will say is Wes. This was a definitely it was a major curve as far as like learning on the job. You being there 3 years and not actually making the playoffs, 3 or 2 years, and not making the playoffs, especially with a team that has this talent. You started off with Rui, not really understand. I mean, I think he had a mental break. I think that was this year, or it might have been last year. Where he started off, he had the mental break, and then he joined the team. And once he joined the team, he kind of got his footing up under him. But then they really didn't know if Avdia was going to make a jump over Rui or if Rui needs to stay in the starting role. But Kuzma was also another forward that kind of like made his presence known in the locker room that like, hey, I can be that leader. Again, like I said earlier before with Porzingis, just is he going to be healthy this entire time? And then where does Bill play into that? And then another major question we had was who's our point guard? We went out and got Monty Morris. And I was like, Monty's nice, but he's not a starting point guard in this league. And you can clearly see that with the Nuggets. Like he was a good backup for Jamal Murray. And when
Mm-hmm.
Murray went down, he played his role correctly. They still made the playoffs, but he's not that starting point guard. So I thought we would be at least play inbound and probably win 1 or 2 games in a playoff series. Maybe if we went up against a 76ers team or you guys, we could probably win 1 or 2 games. But if it was like Boston, for some reason, they have our number, unless it's like a Thursday night where their three is not falling and we just go up by 20. So I seen player inbound. We were close. We got there. Porzingis shocked me. He played mostly all of the season until they said he had some illness and they sat him down. Bill had his moments where he was just Bill. Kuzma was Kuzma. You give him the ball, he probably makes some plays. If you don't, then he'll just jack up a shot and maybe it goes in, maybe it don't. Monty
Mm-hmm.
Morris showed again that he is who we thought he was as far as just a backup piece. I really think we should have kept KCP. And with Rui, the whole trade. Remember, we came on here, we talked about the trade when he went to LA, and I was like, man, that was a bad trade, Joe. And Joe was like, nah, I really like it because if you get Kuzma back, and I was like, but we don't know if he's gonna come back.
Mm-hmm.
And we look where we at now. Kuzma was one of the big pieces in the LA series a few times, and now the Lakers, I mean, the Wizards just looking back like, here we go again.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as a recap on this season, man, it ended the way I wanted it to, because now we finally got some vision within the front office. So like this can roll over into my expectations for the team,
Mm-hmm.
and I can just start it from there. As far as expectations, you all see what happened. Tommy Shepard, yeah, done, son. You know, like I
I
don't ever.
got him up out of there.
I'm not an advocate for people losing their jobs, but hey, Tommy, like you've been too close to the organization. And what Ted finally did was listening to someone else to say, hey, stop. I mean, it's good to hire people from within, but that's only when your culture is good. The Wizards really don't have a culture or a vision. We just finished talking about the Miami Heat, who has a culture. Like when you get off the plane in Miami and you're going there to play basketball, you know what time it is. You're going to get the tough grit team, and we're going to fight. And we probably not going to look good in the regular season. But playoff Jimmy going to make sure we look good in the playoffs. So make sure you play your part. Now,
Mm-hmm.
I understand what Mark was saying about how your players look mid individually, but I gotta agree on both parts. They probably do look mid individually, but imagine if Gabe Vincent or Max Strus or Caleb Martin was on the Wizards. What you think they're gonna look like here? The same thing. So
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, it's just about where you get in, where you fit in. even though they could look mid individually, they had their moments in the playoffs. I don't think there's a player on the Wizards roster right now that you could say can give you a game like Gabe Vincent would have in the playoffs.
Mhm.
Maybe Monty, I don't know, but
Yeah, I think Monty Morris could possibly give you a game or two like that. Possibly.
yeah,
Has he done it? That's the thing. Can you really think about a game that he did in the playoffs with Denver that he stepped up like Gabe, like putting up 28, 29 points in a game? I don't remember hearing about that with Monty Morris. So
and also look at it like this: Miami, the coach. Speaking of the culture, imagine if Miami had the roster the Wizards had. I think y'all probably win that finals because it's
yeah, I
more.
mean, if you give us that team with Jimmy, on that team,
You
I think
swap
it's
Bill and
possible.
Jimmy out. Just swap them
Yeah,
two.
swap Bill and Jimmy, I think it's possible. But I think that also plays a part with having to have Bam on that team too, because the Bam is. I think me. This is just me. I could be wrong, but I personally believe that Bam is a better defender than Porzingis. So
Yeah, no, and not just you. You can
so
say that.
if you
Actually,
have that,
Porzingis protects the rim like Joker. Like you just throw your hands up.
so if you could have, if you was to have that Jimmy and Bam with the Wizards, I think yeah, I think that's possible. Like I said, it's the culture. It's the culture. That culture is what does it. Miami's culture has always been known to be tough. So
And I think right now that's what the Wizards are in the process of getting. They're trying to gain the fans back. Like again, he cleaned house. Like I said, Tommy, you're done, son. But he brought in Michael Winger, who is actually the president of basketball operations. When Tommy Shepard was here, he was the president of basketball operations, the GM, and the vice president for something else. He had like 8 titles. And now Ted sat down and said, let me spread the wealth. So now people can actually focus on what they need to focus on and keep the main thing the main thing. And
mhm.
with Michael Winger being the president of basketball operations, he literally oversees everything within Monumental Sports. So that's the Mystics, the Go Go, and anything etc. related to Monumental Sports. But again, the Mystics have a GM. And one thing I like what he said in his press conference is like, I'm not that too familiar with the WNBA as far as the business aspect. So I don't want to go over there and break anything. But if they need me, I'm here, you know. And the young GM, they got Will Dawkins coming from OKC. I wish they could have stole Sam Presti, but hey, Vegas can't be choosers, you know. But hey, when you work for a guy like that, man, you learn something from him, right? And it's a
Mhm.
youth movement going on. And having some young people come in with the organization who is not tied to this franchise, who's seen it from the outside looking in, that's what we've been needing for the last few years. Because everything's been in-house, it's been homegrown, and the home was broken. So now we got somebody to try to bring it back up. So as far as this, I like the youth. Like I said, I like the youth within the front office. So my expectations for next season is either a rebuild or we actually do make that play in and make some noise.
All right. So, my next question now is, you're in the lottery. So, what do you think happens during the lottery? Who you draft, or what moves do you think you guys need to make to put you guys where you expect to be next season?
And with the eighth pick, Wizards select. Right now, my track record with the Wizards in the draft, I'm still scoring. I'm still scoring. I'm sorry. Like our track record ain't that good when it comes to drafting. Like regardless, these new guys are gonna have to impress me. Either they gonna do what the rumors are saying, they probably try to move up to get that third pick, which would be nice. I mean, we have some pieces that can probably help us move up, but if not, I'm hearing names like Anthony Black. A lot of people's been bringing it back. I want to say hats off to Carl because he was the first person that said it, and now the
Mhm.
media is talking about it. So again, join those chats. And he seems like a good player, you know, a young guard who can probably come in and participate. But the real elephant in the room is Bill.
Yep.
It's like they threw it out there. They was when they first came here, they said we haven't talked to him yet, but now they talking about they possibly want to trade him. But his contract is so crazy that I don't know who's actually gonna pick it up. He's the only player in the league right now with a no trade clause.
Mm.
And I heard, and he got like a 15% trade kicker that like bumps up his salary for when he gets traded. So the Wizards have to pay 15% on top of what he was supposed to make that year.
Dang.
Hey, I need his agent. That's all
Whoa,
I'm
whoa. Whoever you are, be the agent for Refuse to Lose. Please come on.
man.
We need you. We need you over here.
And another thing, right, with the no trade clause, when he gets traded to another team, the trade clause goes with him. So now he has the no trade clause with whatever team he goes with. So it's really tough to be like, do I really want this? Like as another GM, is like Bradley Beal can get you 50. Like if I need you to score, he's gonna be a valuable option. But the Wizards messed up this contract so much. And it's like, is it worth it? Or as a Wizards GMs, what you gonna get back from him? Because now teams is like, I don't really want to take on his contract, and he got a no trade clause. So now we got to
Yes.
renegotiate the negotiation.
And I think there's reports saying that a lot of teams are not going to give up a lot to get Bill either. So
Nah, his trade value has went down versus when it first was out there. Like they would, I don't know, but I hope
yeah,
they do.
I forgot to mention that as well.
I was
Joe,
going.
what's up, Joe? I know we got forgot to say what's up to you because you said what's up, fellas. What's going on, Joe? Um, there's also been talks that the Kings were interested in trading for Bradley Bill. So Joe said, "I hope we don't trade for him," but who knows what happens?
Why not, Joe?
Yeah, y'all will. The Kings would have to give up a lot in order to get him.
Give up the
But
house,
like
man.
I
Come
said,
on.
like I said, that there's a lot saying that teams are not willing to give up a lot for Bradley Bill. So who knows what happens?
So let's look at it like this, because now being optimistic, you got to sit back and be like, well, there's many ways we can go with this team. I'm not gonna take up too much of your time, fellas out there. But if you keep Bradley Bill and you keep Porzingis, you now have to get Kuzma on the phone because I know he's opting out. But you got to get him on the phone and say, can we do a sign and trade? Because if you can work out a sign and trade with Kuzma, you can probably bring back in something more valuable than what you would get with Bill, and you kind of can still have the vision to build around him potentially. Because I think more free agent to come here if you have the unicorn and Bill because of how they played. Really, you just need a point guard. You get an actual floor general, something may happen in the East. CP3 get cut. I'm just saying, take the pay cut, man. You can come up here. I mean, you know what I mean? Go get. They gonna kill me, but go get John Wall back. Like, just get. He'll take the league minimum at this point. So why not?
Yeah,
Just bring him back.
I think it should be. I think y'all should be done trying to get John Wall. I think John Wall just needs to go somewhere else,
I
somewhere
think
he's
he's
not familiar
retired.
with. But CP3, I think that would be pretty. That's not a bad move. It's not a bad move. But I think CP3 is going to try to go somewhere where he can win a ring. I don't think that's happening anytime with the Wizards. This is no offense, but just from the positions that you guys are in, I don't see that happening anytime soon. You guys don't necessarily attract stars, really. I mean, the biggest star you've gotten lately was Russell Westbrook, and
Yeah, active, yeah. Because some people will say Porzingis, but I'm gonna go Russ. I'm gonna go Russ.
it's Russ. Porzingis ain't nothing close to where Russ is. I'm sorry,
You right. No, you right.
but it's possible, but Joe has said something else as well that I didn't think about. But Joe
I
was
heard
saying
about
send
that.
him to the Warriors for Jordan Poole, Kaminga, draft picks, and DiVincenzo. So I think that will work out for the Warriors because then you get rid of that headache in Jordan Poole because he seems like he's becoming a headache there. Jonathan Kaminga has not done much, even though he had all this hype coming out of the draft. And then you get draft picks to help with your rebuild, and you get Dante DiVincenzo, who's a good defender, and he's a pretty good shooter.
Yeah, but you got to figure out what they're gonna do with Clay and Draymond, because again, you bringing on another max contract with the
Put Clay on
trade
the bench.
piece,
That's what I would do.
but
Bring
he
Clay
won't
off
get
the bench.
paid. You see what I'm saying?
I don't think he deserves to get paid, but hey, that's me. He had a good regular season. Don't get me wrong. He had a good regular season. He averaged 21 points a game. That's pretty much his career average, 21
Mhm.
points. So he went back to who he kind of sort of was. But in the playoffs, where were you?
And I seen this guy Ryan. He had asked a question earlier, but I don't know if you're still on Ryan. But I'm gonna answer it right quick. Would you trade Porzingis to the Heat, and if yes, for what? Bam.
Mm, you're not giving a damn. It's not. It's not happening. Sorry.
Because I mean, if we
Cut out.
trading Porzingis, all you guys really have is guards and forwards, and we kind of like good in that aspect. They're not giving up Jimmy, they're not giving up Bam. Nobody really wants Kyle Lowry. What are you gonna get? Gabe Vincent back, but then you can keep Porzingis and his 30. How much is this playout option? I think it's like 36 mil, something like that.
But
Wrote it
that's why I
down.
put Tyler Hero on that. You could trade Porzingis for Tyler. That's something that because I think the contracts will match. the contracts will match, and then I guess you could add a couple other players in there. That's what would work for the Wizards. You would have to go trade for someone like Tyler Hero or something like that
It
because
would be
Bam
better.
and Jimmy are off the table.
I'm going with, I like what Joe said here though. If I'm out of the two, I would do the sign and trade with Kuzma, and then I would figure it out. Because with Porzingis, at least, I mean, if he's going to stay on the court, you could have something of what Joker is. Because somebody said it in the chat. I don't know if Kev said it, but Joker is what everybody wanted Porzingis to be. Like that's exactly what they wanted. Like can shoot the three, space the floor, but Porzingis can jump though. That's the only difference.
Yeah, but Porzingis ain't the passer that Jokic is at all.
So that's what they give and take from each other. One can dunk, one can pass.
Exactly.
But yeah, now if I'm the Wizards, my mindset is more so either we're gonna build around Porzingis and Bill, or Bill get out of here and we just gonna build around Porzingis. Like that's just what it got to be.
Yeah, and Joe said it. He said trade Bill and Kuzma, but keep Porzingis. So I guess that.
I wish he was on the show when you said this, Joe. Because remember what I told you about Rui. We could have traded Kuzma at the All-Star break and got more than 3 second-round picks.
Facts.
That's all I'm saying.
Definitely got more than that. The Lakers stole Rui from y'all. That's what they did. So now I guess my last question now, same question you asked me, is what accolades, what awards do you think your team and some players of your team may get next year?
If we trade up and get like
let me ask this way: with Bill on the team and without Bill on the team, what do you think?
With Bill on the team, I think he makes a third NBA team. I can see him making a third NBA team. I can see that. Porzingis, everything else, I would just say get better. Just get better. Without Bill on the team, no one's winning an award or anything like that. I see Porzingis actually making an All-Star game. I'll say that. He'll probably make an All-Star game. But without Bill, Porzingis probably still makes an All-Star game if he's still here. Other than that, as far as the team accolades, maybe West could win Coach of the Year in his head. I don't know. But I don't know. Or maybe Will Dawson could win GM of the Year by the moves he made. That could be something. We can see that.
I think that's something to push for. I mean, new GM, he can make some moves that'll help a team out, be a lot better than they were the year before. So I could see that. If that happens, I could see that.
Yeah, that's about the furthest I can go with that as far as just accolades. So yeah, Wizards just be better.
Miami, make some moves, please. Just like don't have me going into next season like I was this season, please. Like we got this far.
We both had our moments. Remember, Joe was like, "Man, can y'all be happy?" Sheesh.
Facts. But if you look at it, if both of my pro teams got far the last few seasons, and now I'm just like, nah, I want to see us win because it's been. I haven't seen neither one of my pro teams win since 2000.
Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all at the next episode.